Why did you abandon ship? What was it that made you leave?
I mean, did you didn't grow up in London, did you?
No, I grew up in South Wales.
Okay.
Similar to New York.
Yes, exactly. You know, with all of its mountains, New York, and
There
all
you go.
of its seaside, and all of
yeah.
its sheep.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, I think that, you know, that is a city that will completely shape you by like the way a ballet teacher shapes your foot by like breaking the bones in it so that they arch a little bit.
Yes.
Like, you know, by the time that I left after year 13, I probably by year 8 started being like, oh, I can't stand this place.
Wow.
Like, even though it's amazing and there's nothing else like it, but like if you want to live there, you'd better be rich.
Right.
You know, and even then that will not protect you from just the agony and the ecstasy of human existence. You know, like rich people still have to get on the train and be, you know, accosted by whatever masturbators walking through. You know what I mean?
Delicious.
Like, it's intense.
Yeah.
And so by year 13, I think that yeah, there was definitely some things that happened that had kind of like left a scar sort of professionally, emotionally. And then really it was sort of all of the things that I thought were going to happen career-wise or whatever started it like just to disappear.
Right.
You know, it was like the lights were going out in the big skyscraper.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, there was an invitation for me to be here, but New York is now taking its invitation back.
Right.
It felt like it was like, oh, these things are disappearing. Do you want to fight for this? Or, you know, I met somebody here in the UK and I was like, there's an open window. And I just went through it, you know, without realizing that I was leaving everything behind. It's just like, well, that's the only light in the room. Let's walk there.
Yeah. And that's often your read, isn't it? That isn't often the actual case that certain things are switched off to you. You feel it. If you feel
yes.
it's a sensation of the room, isn't it? Just going, right, no, okay. And how long after you moved here in 2014, how long was it until you went, oh yeah, no, this is excellent?
I mean,
or have you not yet done that?
No, I definitely have. But I think that it maybe took like there was definitely always a romance about London, you know, especially for any American, because there's like, you know, we love the accent. It's like our sexy cousin that we don't hook up with anymore.
Mm-hmm. I need to go to America urgently.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Just have people go like, oh my God, you're talking. You're saying words. I'm sliding off of a seat.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cheers. This has been fun. Thanks a lot.
Taxi.
We're done there, guys. Honestly, you should really work for the American travel agency because that's going to do wonders.
There was definitely a beautiful veneer about it, but it took a little while to feel like it belonged to me, that I wasn't, you know, just sort of visiting and obviously having some kind of even long-term temporary status. Because when I first came, it was just like visitor. Then I had to get like 3-month visas. Then I could get a year-long visa. And then it started to feel like, okay, you know, like I might be able to get a chance to stay here sort of thing. But definitely sort of cementing into the comedy scene helped a bit because then I kind of started to feel like myself again. Because like when I first came here, wasn't allowed to work and then like didn't know anyone or knew a few people, needed to build that kind of thing up. And then when people were like, oh yeah, we can put you on here and there, it felt like, oh, this is home. I have regular places. I have people I know in those places. So it did take a few years really to start feeling that coming on.
It does take a while.
It does.
A few years and then Taskmaster happens.
Yeah, which is years later.
But of course, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But once you get to Taskmaster, you're a national treasure, basically.
Which is, I was on a train yesterday coming back from the Netherlands. And the guy was sitting across from after like 2.5 hours was like, are you Desiree Burch? And I was like, oh yeah. And he talked about Taskmaster for like a good 30 minutes, you know?